Alright, we're looking at a 2003 Dodge Stratus. And what we're doing today on this one is rear ball joints. I've already done the other side. The ball joint's right here. Now this is drum brake, so we don't have to mess with this too much. If you had a disc brake in the back, you'd have to take your caliper off and hang it off to the side, because I think, you know, once you pop this ball joint out, it's going to hang forward a little bit, and it might be too much pressure on your hose. So just a precautionary, if you had disc brakes, I would pull the caliper off and hang it off to the side. Since this is drum and the hose is long enough, I did the other side already, you can just leave everything alone. It's pretty simple. You will need a ball joint press. And on the other side, I've had this happen before on these cars. When I press on this, it actually popped out and ran through the other side. And then I had to put a socket around here and press this out the rest of the way. There's two ways you can do this. This is kind of like on the Hondas and stuff. It's kind of awkward to press these out because you're actually pressing on the stud here. So like on the Hondas, what I do, I usually just cut this off. And with a cutoff wheel, it takes about a minute. And then I stick a socket up here or whatever I have available and press it up. Now these Chryslers, I've had pretty good luck just pressing on this, and usually it'll pull the ball joint through. This car is older, it's 2003, it's pretty rusty. It's got the all original parts on it, so this might happen again on this side as far as you know, it just pushes this right through the ball joint. If it does, it's no big deal. We will use a socket and put it right here after we cut the boot away, and it'll push it right out. These aren't too hard to do, but you will need a ball joint press, like I said already. So if you don't have one of those, run down to your auto parts store and rent one or buy one or whatever you want to do. A lot of people change the control arm on these with the ball joint instead of just changing the ball joint. The bushings seem okay on this one, and she's already spent a bunch of money on this car, doing the front suspension and just a lot of different stuff. So we're going to just try to save her some money and just change the ball joint. There's no reason to change the control arm if your bushings are good anyway. So, and they appear to be okay. I don't feel any slop in the control arm or anything. So if you have a lot of slop in your control arm where you can move your wheel back and forth side to side, then you probably need bushings, and it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and change the whole thing out. But on this video, we're just going to remove this bad boy and get it going. So there's not much to do here. There's no cotter pin or anything. These are just regular nuts on here, and we'll go ahead and get an impact and extension, and we should be able to go in from right under here and take it off. So that'll be the first thing I'll get set up, and then we'll get under there and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, so you can see this is the lower ball joint nut. It's 21 mil from the factory, and got an impact socket on it. And then you can see here I got a long chrome socket, and I'm going to use an impact on it. And the reason why I do that is because I do what I want. I do have impact extensions, but sometimes I like to break the rules a little bit. So here we go. Alright, so I got the Milwaukee on it. Give it a shot. Uh-oh. Alright, it's just turning on there. So we got to go to a couple different plans here. Alright, so sometimes you got to improvise. The Milwaukee just spun that nut, and it got down to the bottom and wouldn't go any farther. So instead of playing around with it, I just cut it off real quick with a cutoff wheel. Only took a minute. And then since I had it cut off down below, I just went ahead and cut most of the threads off on the bottom of it. Hopefully yours don't do that, and you won't have to worry about it. But it is a possibility on a car this old with you know, being old and rusty and stuff. So get yourself a receiver cup, and you'll put that up here on top of the control arm. Now I have a small pry bar going through here, and I got hooked into the spring. It's kind of holding this up out of the way. It helps if you're just one person doing this. And then all we're going to do is just set this on there, the press itself, and I'm going to have to get in there a little closer, I think. Anyway, we'll set this press on there, and we'll go ahead and start pushing this out. Now you can see mine's closed too much. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and set it up. And then alright, so I got the receiver cup up here, and I went ahead and cut the rest of that shaft off just because it wasn't cut straight and it didn't want to cooperate with me. Hopefully you don't have to do that. It's not normal. Usually those will come out without cutting them off, but mine had other ideas with this car. So anyway, I just went ahead. I'll show you when I pull the ball joint out. So I just went ahead and cut it the rest of the way off. And I believe it's popped all the way through. Yeah. And it's hot because I had to heat it up. This thing was really, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of rust up here, and it's very rusty. So this is what I did. I ended up just cutting the rest of the stud off, and then I put an adapter from my kit, this adapter on it. So this adapter was like that, and then I just put this receiver cup, and it just went up, and it stopped super tight, and I just took a map torch and heated it up a little bit right here, and then it popped out. So hopefully you don't have all these issues that I'm having on this, but going in hopefully should be a little bit easier. We'll go ahead and lube it up, and then going in is just kind of the opposite. You'll put the receiver cup underneath, and to catch it, and then normally on these I put I believe it's this attachment from the kit on the top, and then just press it down. So once I get it set up, I'll turn it back on. Alright, so you can see here I got this pry bar kind of up into the spring loosely just to hold this up, and then I got this long screwdriver. I just kind of use this to pull back on and keep that out of the way. I went ahead and sprayed this down, cleaned it up a little bit, the hole. So we're going to set the new ball joint in, and some of these ball joints come with snap rings. This brand doesn't, but I have used brands in the past that do. I don't think Chrysler uses snap rings on any of these from the factory that I know of. I've done some of these before in the past, and I don't remember ever seeing a snap ring, but some of the aftermarket ball joints do have snap rings, and if they do have a snap ring, it'll be down here on the bottom of the ball joint. After you get it pressed in, there'll be a little groove that you can see, and you'll just snap it in. But these don't have it. These are just the old style press in, and I mean the other ones are press in too, but anyway, these don't have snap rings. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up, push it down in there as straight as you can, and then we'll go ahead and start it and get set up. And alright, once you got it all set up, just go ahead and crank it down. This one's already cranked down. I think it's level now. So we'll just pull this off and make sure it's flat all the way around. Just make sure when you press this in, go in straight as possible. If you're a tiny bit crooked, it usually straightens out, but you don't want to go in real cattywampus, because then you could ruin the ball joint or the arm itself. So just be careful. Go in as straight as possible, and you should be good. And then once you'll kind of feel it seat, and just give it like another half turn, make it snug, and then you should be good to go. And then we'll be able to just put this thing back together. So let me take this off, and we'll check it out and make sure everything's flat. Alright, so if you press it in straight, it should look like this. It should be flush all the way around, like this one is. Once it's flush all the way around, all you're basically going to do is put it back together. Now what I do, instead of trying to fight this and lift this up and push it down at the same time, just put a jack under here, under the lower knuckle here, and just jack it up slowly and guide this back in, and you won't have to fight it too much. So let me do that real quick. I'll go ahead and put a jack right under here, and then I'll jack it up, and then we'll start that nut, and then we're almost done. One thing I forgot to point out before, I got it jacked up, but I didn't put that boot on. If your boot doesn't go in Normally the boot goes on after you put the ball joint in, so don't forget to put the boot on before you put it back in the knuckle. Otherwise you have to take it back apart. So just don't forget to put your grease boot in and go ahead and secure it on the ball joint, and then you can go ahead and put it back together. Alright, so we just torqued that nut down. You can get your extension up through the arm there, and I'm trying to do this one-handed. There we go. Pretty tight. So that's basically it. These are they're already greased, so you just put the boot on and they're ready to go. So hopefully, I know the video might be a little bit clunky because I had issues and I was doing things off camera. And it's kind of hard to get the camera in there when you're on the ground like this, but anyway, hopefully you get the general idea with it. Definitely get yourself a ball joint press, and check over your bushings on your arm, make sure that they're good, and if they're good, then just go ahead and press them in and out, save yourself some money. So that's rear ball joints, upper ball joints on a 03 Dodge Stratus. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Have a good day, and God bless.